Welcome to my channel. I am Manjiri Awasthi. Today we will study about features of microeconomics. Before going ahead, don't forget to like, share and subscribe to my video and press bell icon for latest updates and upcoming videos. My last video was about price theory. Okay, and before going ahead, I also want to tell you that we conduct online classes for HSC, FYJC and SSC students. Interested candidates can contact through comment box. Okay, I also provide different videos on various things like mehndi design, then rangoli design, then educational videos, and also songs and many other things. Okay, so let's not waste the time. We'll start with the features of microeconomics. First point, that is study of individual units. In microeconomics, we study about the behavior of small or single individual economic unit, like particular household, that is single household, or individual firm, single firm, individual prices of commodities, for example price of tea, for example price of biscuit, single tea packet or biscuits. That is individual unit, that is studied in microeconomics. Okay, so microeconomics is a study of individual units. Okay, that was the first feature. Second feature, price theory. Okay, this we have studied in last video, how prices of goods are fixed in price theory. Okay, microeconomics is also called as price theory because it is primarily or basically concerned with determination, means fixation of price of goods like salt or sugar. Their prices are fixed in price theory of microeconomics, and also prices of factors of production. What are factors of production? Like land, labor, capital, entrepreneur. Their prices that are fixed in price theory. Okay, that was the second feature. Moving on to third feature. Okay, that is slicing method. Slice. Microeconomy splits or separates economy into small individual units and studies each single unit in detail. So microeconomics is of entire nation. It splits a small individual unit or separates a small individual unit from economy and studies each single unit in detail. Okay, so thus it is called as the microeconomic theory is called as slicing method. It uses slicing method for studying single individual unit. For example, study of single firm, that forms the method or part of slicing method used in microeconomics. Okay, fourth point, that is partial equilibrium. Okay, partial means part. From the name you can understand partial means part. Partial equilibrium is condition in which economic equilibrium which takes into consideration a part of market. Okay, only a part of market is studied, not the entire market. Okay, part of market with all other things remaining constant to attain equilibrium. Other things are all assumed to be constant. Only price and demand are considered to form equilibrium, but other factors, but like income of a consumer or changes in taste, fashion of consumer, changes in demand of consumer, these all factors are not considered. So such equilibrium which only uses price and demand for forming equilibrium, other factors are not considered, such equilibrium is called as partial equilibrium. Okay, I hope the point was clear. Moving on to fifth point, that is microscopic approach. By the name you will understand what we study in microscope, small things. Okay, so in microscopic approach, only microscopic study of national economy is made, means study of individual economic unit are done, like we have studied in price theory or first point, that is study of individual units. Same is repeated in microscopic approach, that the entire nation is not considered, only a part of nation is considered. Okay, we do not study national economy in its totality. Total national economy is not studied or considered, or total income of the nation of person in the economy are not considered. Only income of single person, that is individual unit, is studied in microeconomics, not the totality. Okay, moving on to sixth point, that is analysis of resource allocation and economic efficiency. So allocation of efficiency is a characteristic of efficient market in which capital is allocated in such a way that will lead to beneficial of the individual or the parties involved in it. Okay, so allocation should be done in such a way that results into optimal distribution of goods and services to the all sections of the society. So it means that resources should be allocated to all sections of society in a efficient or favorable manner. Okay, no section of society should be left off. All should get the available resources in efficient manner. Okay, best possible manner with the available capital. Okay. Seventh point, that is use of marginalism principle. Marginalism principle or marginalism means the changes brought in the total by additional unit, by consuming additional unit. Like we have seen in diminishing marginal utility, how marginal unit changes is brought in the total. Similarly, here also marginalism means changes brought in by the additional unit, by consuming additional unit, changes brought in the total. That is studied in marginalism. Okay, so all important microeconomic decisions are taken on the principle or on the basis of margin. Okay, so this concept of marginalism is basic or crucial important. More importance is given in all areas of microeconomics. So microeconomics uses marginalism as a tool to study that or observe the different areas of microeconomics. Okay. So 8th point, based on certain assumptions. So microeconomics is based on certain assumptions. Assumptions are many. We will study all of them in detail. Okay. First, that is full employment. So in economy, it is assumed that all persons have the job. All persons are fully employed. That is first assumption. Okay. Second assumption, that is laissez-faire policy. Means the market in which there is no or less government interference. Government will not interfere in the such type of market is called a laissez-faire market, and that market is free market. Okay. And third point, that is perfect competition. In perfect competition, all firms produce identical or similar product. Okay, that is first. Second, the freedom, there is complete freedom for buyer and seller for entering into market and going out of the market. Such type of market is called as perfect competition. Okay. Fourth feature or fourth assumption is ceteris paribus, that is other things remaining constant. So because of this, in this all other factors like income of consumer or changes in demand of consumer, changes in fashion of consumer are not considered. Okay, so this theory neglects interdependence between economic variable. So interdependence of demand on income or income on price or price on supply are not considered. Okay, other factors like changes in fashion of consumer, taste, habits, preference of consumer are not considered. Okay, next point, that is limited scope. The scope of microeconomics is quite limited because it deals with individualistic approach and not the entire or whole or total economy. It studies only one and single individual unit. It does not deal with nationwide problems like unemployment. So there is national problem of unemployment. Many people are jobless, but it is not studied under microeconomics. It does not cover this unemployment problem or problem of unemployment. Poverty, there are large number of people who are poor, but that is not studied in microeconomics, so its scope is limited. Economic growth, it is also not studied in microeconomics. Okay, so its scope of microeconomics is quite limited. 10th point, that is analysis of market structure. So in microeconomics we study or understand different market structure, how the demand and goods produced, quantity of goods produced are and how in what quantities goods are produced, how prices of goods are fixed in different types of markets, that are studied in microeconomics. So there are different types or forms of market. First is perfect competition, like we have seen above. Perfect competition is firm producing similar identical products. Okay. Second type of market is monopoly. Monopoly means single seller who is price fixer or price maker. In this form of market, there is single seller who is price maker. Such type of market is called as monopoly. Oligopoly, third type. That is, there are many small firms, like 2 or 3 small firms are operating in the market. Such type of market or form of market is called as oligopoly market. Okay, and fourth type, that is monopolistic competition. In monopolistic competition, there are large number of producers producing different product, not similar product. In perfect competition, all producers produce similar product, but in monopolistic competition, large number of producers produce different products. Okay, so this theory also describes how prices of goods are fixed and in what quantities goods are produced, that are determined in the above given or different forms of market. That is called as analysis of market structure. Okay, so I think point discussed up to now are clear. All features of microeconomics are clear. We will do a quick recap of point discussed up to now. First point, that is study of individual unit. Second point, that is price theory. Third point, slicing method. Fourth point, partial equilibrium. Fifth point, microscopic approach. Sixth point, analysis of resource allocation and economic efficiency. Seventh point, use of marginalism principle. Eighth point, based on certain assumptions. Ninth point, limited scope. And 10th point, analysis of market structure. So that's it for today. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe to my video and press bell icon for latest updates. We'll come up with more interesting videos shortly. My next video would be about importance and usefulness of microeconomics. That's it. Thank you. Bye.